Hey everyone, it's Marissa. So in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the Lisa Frank palette by Morphe, and this is supposed to be a really cool collection that everyone was actually talking about, I want to say in the wintertime, and I never even found out about it until I saw like Morphe actually announce it on their site, so I feel like it's a very underrated collection, but it's really super cute. It definitely brings back a lot of childhood memories for me since I used to be very obsessed with this kind of stuff, so if you're interested to see my thoughts on it and the overall formula of everything, then just keep on watching. So there's a ton of shades in this palette, and I guess it's just like the Morphe 35B palette. Now, I've never had that palette before, so I can't really compare to see if the formulas are the exact same, but the shades that I am swatching are all of them, which starts with Blanca, Princess Pearls, Roary, Casey and Caymus, Sunflower, Playtime, Kittens, Marky, Balloon Buddies, Elephant John, Sasha and Shanti, Ballerina Bunnies, Priscilla, Rainbow Chaser, Buzz, Hunter, and then that is basically all that I swatched for that. And then I continued a little bit more with Dashley, Rainbow, Majesty, Lollipop, Puppy Love, and Roxy and Roary. And those are basically just like all the purpley warmer tones of the palette. And that's like about the first 4 rows of the palette going horizontally, and they're all very pretty. They're super pigmented, and I didn't have any problem swatching these at all. And then next is Peekaboo, Zoomer, and Zorbit, Dancing Dolphin, Saturn Sunday, Forest, Miss Galaxy, Prancing Unis, Violet and Velvet, Sky, Hollywood Bear, Tikani, Angel Kitty, Spotty and Dottie, Panda, Painter, and Max Splash. And all of these also did not have any problem rubbing off. Like, you need some sort of makeup remover wipe to get them off, or else they will stay on, which I really liked about that too. If you're interested to see the actual makeup look, then just keep on watching for the next clip. So I'm first going to be priming my eyes using a concealer, which is the Covergirl concealer stick in the shade Neutralizer. And I'm just going to be applying this on my eyelids and then just blending everything using my finger. Now I kind of want like an orange look for today, like a pinkish peach orange kind of look. So I'm going to be going in with the palette right here, and it's really super cute. I love how it looks like a notebook and everything. And I'm first going to be dipping into the shade Sunflower, and it's like this really pretty bright yellow. I'm going to be using this as the transition shade, so I'm going to be dipping into that using an Ulta round brush, and I'm just going to be applying it to my crease and then just very lightly buffing it out afterwards. The next shade I'm going to be using is like a little bit of like a peachy pink color. It's a little bit more pink than peach, but it's called Elephant John, and I'm just going to be dipping into that next. I'm just going to try to blend the two together very lightly. I don't want to overdo it, so I don't want to add too much of that pigment, because then I will be adding a little bit of a different color as well. And they all blend really nicely so far, like I'm not having any problems with the pigmentation or anything. It literally does not take very much effort for me to put this on. Like, that literally took altogether like 2 minutes. So that's not a lot of time at all just for this so far, and I'm actually really happy with how it looks. So the next color I'm going to be choosing is Hunter, and that one is like a little bit of a deeper orange color, and I think it looks really super pretty. So I'm just going to be adding this to my crease as well, and also like the outer corner of my eye. And it just really adds this pretty pop of orange with that transitioned peach color to the yellow. I'm going to be using Casey and Caymus. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right, but it's this really pretty light yellow shimmery shade, and I just really think that's going to add a nice pop of color to my eyelid. So I'm just going to be taking it, using my finger, and applying it to my eyelid. I'm going to mainly only apply it to my inner corner of my eye because I kind of want to try to add as many colors as possible because there are a ton of different shades to choose from this palette. And then the next shade I want to use is Sasha and Shanti, and it's also like a very shimmery peachy pink color. And I'm just going to use that almost like a transition shade between that yellow and the orange, and I'm just placing that in the middle of my eyelid. And this is kind of giving me like a sunset kind of look, and it looks really pretty. Like, I think that pop of yellow really just makes the look really nice. What's also really nice is that there is a mirror in this, but I don't know why, out of habit I always just grab another mirror, but it is really nice how they do have a pretty decent sized mirror. So for eyeliner, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Expert Liquid Eyeliner in the shade Jet Black, and I'm just going to be drawing a wing with this. And I think that looks pretty good, and sometimes I do this, and I'm going to be doing it for this look specifically just because like how I said, I want to try to add as many colors as possible from this palette. So I'm going to be using the shade Max Splash, and using an e.l.f. concealer brush, I'm just going to be taking that, putting it on the brush, and just kind of patting it over the eyeliner that I just set so it creates more of a mattified look. It also will actually deepen the color of the black as well, so it's going to be a little bit more intense on my eyes. It's so special. And I'm just going to be using the Porefessional Benefit Primer, and I really love this stuff just because a little does go a long way. So I'm just going to be adding this to my face and just blending everything into my skin before I put on any kind of concealer. And it just leaves like a really nice soft velvety finish to your skin. Like, just as you're rubbing it in, like, your skin just feels instantly so much more smoother, and it just feels so nice. And it also leaves like this really nice smell too. Like, it's kind of hard to explain what the smell is, but it's just very clean, and I just really love this stuff. It does last me quite a bit of time because I don't use it every single day, but whenever I do, like, it lasts me about like 3 or 4 months, just this little tube. But it all just depends on how much you want to use it and just how much you apply it every single day. But for me, yeah, this lasts almost like half a year, so I really love this stuff. I'm going to be using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Fair Neutral. Just going to be applying this to my under eyes and any kind of like redness or dark spots on my face. I'm just going to be blending everything in using a Real Techniques Beauty Complexion Sponge. You got me doing things I never thought I'd do. Just so you know. I'm not going to really add a bronzer for today's look. I'm kind of going to be adding like a little bit of both of 2 different blushes. So the first one I'm going to be using is Sugar and Spice, I believe, from like one of the little Tarte trios, and this is like from Christmas. So I'm just going to be applying this kind of closer to where I would be applying a bronzer. I'm just going to be applying this using a Ulta blush brush. I'm just going to lightly contour around my nose and stuff. I'm not going to be adding too much like how I said, but I want to use an eyeshadow shade from the palette as a blush. So I'm going to be using a little bit of that Elephant John again and a little bit of Playtime Kittens, and just kind of mixing the two together because this is going to create like a really pretty pink. And then I'm just going to blend everything in again using a Real Techniques Beauty Complexion Sponge. And just kind of blend everything into my skin. And you could go ahead and use setting powder too if you want, but for today I don't think I'm going to, just because my skin has been a little bit dry lately because of how cold the weather has been in Michigan. So I kind of like to use that technique and use like blush and bronzer, or sometimes just the blush, and kind of use it as a setting powder as well, if that makes sense, in the areas that I applied some of the concealer at. To fill in my brows, I'm going to be using the Instant Lift Brow Pencil by e.l.f. and this is in the shade Neutral Brown. And I'm just going to be lightly filling them in and then kind of using a spoolie to get rid of any kind of harsh lines that I might have created that don't look very natural. Sometimes I use my finger as well if it helps a little bit better. And then to keep my brows in place, I'm going to be using the Benefit Brow Gimme Brow spoolie, and it's just like a brow tinting kind of gel. It really just helps keep them in place and just doesn't have them, you know, move around as much throughout the day. And you really don't need a lot of this product either, so a little does go a long way for this. Now I haven't added anything for my under eyes yet, so I think I'm going to be choosing that Hunter shade again and maybe a little bit of Rainbow Chaser, which is like another shade of pink. It's kind of more of like a rosy pink, just a little bit. And I'm just going to be adding the two together using an e.l.f. precision brush and just applying it very lightly underneath. Using the shade Roary, I think I'm going to be adding that as my inner corner highlight and my brow bone highlight using the e.l.f. precision brush again. And it's just this really pretty natural looking highlight. It's not overly, you know, too bright or anything. It's very natural, so I'm just going to be adding that to those areas. And then using a IT Cosmetics brushes for Ulta All Over Shadow Brush, I'm just going to be dipping into that again, and also a little bit of Casey and Caymus, if I'm pronouncing that right. And it's just going to leave like a very light yellowy kind of highlight. I really like it. It's very natural, and I just don't think it's like super in your face or anything. It's just very subtle, but just enough. Then I'm going to be using the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara, and this is in the shade, it actually doesn't have a shade name on it, but I'm assuming it's black because it is a black tone, but I just don't know what specific shade of black it is, so I'm just going to say this is in the shade black. And then I'm going to be using the Ulta Beauty Maximum Lashes Mascara in the shade black as well. And then lastly is lips, so I'm going to be using the shade Sugar Cookie from the Too Faced Melted Matte Liquefied Matte Liquid Lipstick collection, and this was from like Christmas and stuff. And it smells so good and so sweet. It's a very pretty natural colored nude, so I'm just going to be applying this to my lips. And then once that dries a little bit, I'm going to be applying the Glossiful Beauty Love Spell lip gloss, and this is a part of my Valentine's Day collection that I've posted previously on here, and it smells so good. It's strawberry scented, and I just really love this. So I'm going to be applying this as a top coat, and it just leaves this really pretty shimmery pink color. So this is the completed look using the Lisa Frank palette. I really hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you're interested to see more videos from me in the future, I upload every Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and sometimes on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. So you could always just subscribe down below, or you can hit the notification bell to get notified for every single time that I'm going to be uploading. And I'll just see you guys next time. Bye!